Hey Lego-Lo-Maniacs, you want to build a hanging train? I'll show you how to do it. This I had to come up with just because it gives you more space to work, and you can do bigger displays and all that good stuff. So what we're working with today is just regular Lego straight track pieces for the RC style, not for the metal ones. What I purchased is a 8-foot, this is called a furring strip, and from Home Depot. It is a 1" by 3. Now, why I used a furring strip? Well, it's the cheapest wood you can get. I think they're $2 a piece. So yeah, compared to the Lego, that's nice. It is rounded already, which I like. It is rough. It's not a finished edge. Now, you could get finished lumber, dimensional lumber, which has a real sharp square edge. Why? It costs way more money. And then it's square and sharp, and I don't know. I don't need that. So get yourself some of these. The wood I stained with this stuff right here, Varathane wood stain. Color in one coat results 3 times faster, dries in an hour. It almost dries pretty close to an hour, and it's the dark walnut color. Then you may ask yourself, well, how does it fit Lego Track? Quite well. So, as you can see, my Lego Track, it does, go over the edge just a hair. Just a hair, like a millimeter, if that, because Lego Track is supposed to be under 3 inches thick or wide, and depending on how you got it laid out, it may go over a little bit. If you're super, detailed, you can make this fit, I think, perfectly, almost, pretty dang close. And then you may ask yourself, on an 8-foot section, how many pieces of track is that? Well, let's count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 pieces of track fit on one of these. All right. And then how do you hold the Lego Track down? Well, again, at Home Depot, you want to get yourself some number 4 size screws. 5/8 in length is what I found good, and you don't need stainless. You can just go zinc. Saves the price. But what you really do want, though, is you want a panhead Phillips. Why a panhead Phillips? Because this is flat. So if you have a conical head that's designed for driving into wood, it's not going to sit flat. How well does it fit? Well, I can show you. Pop it right in there, and let that focus a little bit. You can see that it fits perfectly easily between the studs, and it lays flat, and it's actually, let's see, just, like a 1/2 millimeter taller than the studs. And then the important thing is it's got a lot of length that will not go all the way through the board, but 3/4 of the way through the board. So these are going to be your best grip option. Now, how many do you need to use? I'm using 4 per board, and as you can see, it has just a little bit of flex in some spots, but not much, a little bit. So I'm pretty comfortable with that. If you want to put, 2 per track or 1 per track, you could. I just think it's a waste of screws personally, but go for it. All right, so the end of the track, you can see, is the regular Lego joining piece, and you'll need to join that. All right, so we got the track figured out for running the length. Now, how are you going to hang it from the ceiling? Well, I'm in a, see if you can see one of these studs. I'm in the basement, and I've got, it's black you know, because I painted it black, regular studs down here. So it's like, what, 2x12 studs. And I got these, again, from Home Depot. These are just screw-in utility hangers, and they're 5/16 thread, which is plenty for the weight, and then they're 7 inches, so plenty of grab there. And then we're just gonna screw these into the studs, and let's see what that looks like. All right, now that we got our 2 hangers set up, all we got to do is lay in our track, and it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Now, this board's got a little bit of flex to it, but I don't think the weight of the train is going to affect that. We'll find out later on, I suppose. And if I want, I could put a flat brick right there with a hole in it and zip tie it if I wanted to get it nice and free from movement, you know. But again, I mean, this is a rubber thing. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any issues with the weight on the track. I'm just going to set this up here temporarily. So yeah, need to do some revisions to it. It's a little bit too tall for the flame. That's a bummer. All right, so I'm using the ghost train from Lego, which technically was not supposed to be a motorized train, but I converted it so. And it turns out it is too tall with its locomotive flame and the blue crystal flame on it, so I'll have to do it without it. But I still want the train track up that high so I can walk under it real easy. I could lower it a little bit. I'm about 6 foot tall. Let's get my floor to stud height. That is about 7 foot, floor to stud. And then with a 7-inch drop down, that drops it down to about 78.5 inches. So that's almost 6'5", right? Yeah. Which is good. I'm not that tall, nor do I have anybody that tall that'll be down here. So cool. And hook up my tender car. This would be a good weight test too, I guess. And it sags a little bit. Not enough to write home about. Get a couple more cars on there. I got 2 ghost cars for some reason. There we go. Let's hook up to that. Looking snazzy. I got a caboose that I made and a little cage car. Oh no, my caboose is too tall. Dang. I don't know if I want to drop that down. I kind of like it where it's at. I could back off some of the threads. No, I like that height. Alright, I'm going to have to modify my caboose car. That's a bummer. If I just take the very top part off of it, looks like it might fit. Yeah, there we go. I mean, you could not get this any closer if you tried. So that's pretty ideal. And then the neat thing is too, as you can see my city behind me. So I took and I just got some wall hangers. This is a 1x10, and it's perfect for all the haunted sets. And then I made this one a little bit lower because the Ghostbuster firehouse is so big. And then, you know, that roller coaster ride one is so tall that it goes into the rafter a little bit. But I'm not going to put it any lower than that. But you can see how much lower it is than the window. And then the train can drive past and see everything. And I'm probably gonna put a camera on it so like you can look at, you know, the city as it goes by, which is pretty neat.